When I first started playing Rebirth, I was a little unsure if I would like the game. I tried my best to stay away from new trailers so I could have the most rawest experience I could have. And when I started playing the game, I got pushed into the open world and I wasn't sure if it would be Game of the Year for me. The last game felt so linear and repetitive at times looking back at it. And when I did the first couple of missions, tracking chocobos during missions in town, I was getting that same feeling. But I was wrong. Since I was streaming the game, I was kinda just trying to go from point A to B, so I didn't really waste time doing side stuff that I wasn't that interested in. I didn't really get the chance to get into the world until I did my usual off-stream grinding. And when I tell you, this game has so much depth in it, with each place you visited, to the character interactions, to Queen's Blood, and all of the side stories in each region, I completely fell in love with this game. It's just simply so much to do and literally everything feels unique. No side missions really feel the same, and while doing these missions, you also increase your party members' relationships with you. I played the original with Chiefs, and I was wondering how they would structure the rest of the game, if it would be more linear like Remake, but they really put all their effort into making this world beautiful. You can tell how much passion was put into this game, and it's so nice just being in that world. I didn't think I would have so much fun playing Queen's Blood, Fort Condor, seeing the interactions of Frog, Cloud, and Tifa, and so much more. I mean, you can even find a gym in Casa del Sol and do those minigames again that you could do in Remake. It's just so much to do, and I have spent so many hours playing this game. I don't think I've been this infatuated with a game since I played Persona 5 for the first time. I titled this video The Heart of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because I wanted to understand what made it so special. Is it the group dynamics, the side content, the story? I think the simplest answer is the team. Now, I don't know if it's cheesy to say that, but this team, this creative, put their heart and soul into this game. Sorry if I butcher the names, but Naoki Hamaguchi, Tetsuya Nomura, you can tell how important this project was for them, their team, and for everyone else. I've just been in the game and put over 70 hours into it, and I still haven't done everything in the game. It's much more packed than I would ever have imagined in terms of content, and as for a single player story game in 2024, I wouldn't fathom the amount of detail that was added to the game. There's just simply so much to the game. Even with the knowledge of the original Final Fantasy VII, it doesn't help much besides knowing certain key moments, but those key moments are just small parts of this huge game. Now, I've had some issues with the game, of course, but don't worry, I'm not titling this video my issues with FF7 Rebirth. I just wanted to highlight some things that did bother me at the time, and I feel like the main thing for me was that I was pretty disappointed with the brief 5 minutes of Zack gameplay we got every 12 hours. But hey, that is coming from a #1 Zack stan, but I digress. The 5 minutes of Zack gameplay that periodically popped up of him just walking the town or doing something random was just disappointing. I watched an interview with Caleb, Zack's voice actor, and I do want to give him his flowers. His Zack voice got a lot better than what we've seen Crisis Core, and it's just I was under the impression that he was going to be way more involved in the story besides just the ending. And speaking of Zack,
me? Gungaga.
Oh boy, that Gungaga map blew so bad. Only in terms of environment, I love Cisne and I enjoyed the Crisis Core references, but exploring that map was such a pain for me. That and Cosmo Canyon were the two areas I had to look up YouTube videos to find the proto relics and all the other things, so that definitely was a chore. Also, another thing that bothered me was after I got the date at the end of chapter 12, I really felt like that was what all the side missions were leading up to, and with the fact that I already did the date with Aerith prior in chapter 8, I felt like I wasted my time. So after chapter 12, I didn't really feel like I needed to do any side missions anymore, which was a shame. Now let's talk about what I did like. The part of Cosmo Canyon that I loved was how the proto-relics had full fleshed out cutscenes when you visited them, and it really made me feel like the side missions weren't just a total waste of time besides the character interactions, and people actually cared about putting the attention to detail in these side missions. Yuffie is by far my favorite character in the game, and I would say Yuffie is the best teammate in general. I feel like that might be because she had a DLC, so her character would be more rounded out as a pseudo main character, but to me she's been my most used party member aside from Cloud. My party members were Cloud, Yuffie, and Aerith. Even though I've seen a lot of people do some crazy stuff with Aerith on Twitter, but I haven't been able to do that, unfortunately, which could have been really helpful in the final boss. But as for Yuffie, I adored her interaction with Barret.
You know, Yuffie, when you're part of a team, you can't just do whatever you feel like.
What? So does that mean I gotta run everything by you first?
Yep.
So that's the game. Fine. Permission to sing, sir?
What?
Permission to scratch my back, sir? Permission to blow my nose, sir? Didn't get permission to yawn yet. How? Do I get permission or not?
She'll antagonize him at times, but when she saw him getting ostracized in his own village, she stands up for him. All the side missions had such great moments with the characters, and I didn't really feel any repetition like I did in the first game. They put so much passion and heart into this world, in dialogue and interactions. Even when I unlocked Red 13's new voice, I went back to Under Junon to do some side missions, and his voice was still high-pitched. I'm not trying to shit on Remake, it's just after playing this, you can really see how much more beefier this game is compared to Remake. Also, at the end of the game where you play as Zack, a lot of his movements are references to Crisis Core, which I love. It's like I can't find a company putting this much effort into an open world. Maybe I haven't played that many good ones. Side note, I am kind of scared of whoever's watching this that heard this statement. So I just want to say, I just started playing Yakuza 1. I did like the intro and I played Red Dead 2 a little bit. If those franchises are somewhat more as impactful as this one, let me know. But this game was such an adventure, and after this video I'm still gonna keep playing just to finish up some stuff. But before I go, I do want to brush on the ending since I have seen some discourse about it. I feel like it was the same way with the first game as well. While I was playing it, I was very confused on how Cloud saved Aerith, then it glitched to her being dead, then alive, then dead, in this odd back and forth. Looking back at it now, I'm assuming Sephiroth was bringing down a merging reality, so if Cloud did save her, he would just merge the worlds where she would die anyway. And as for her being alive in Cloud's mind, that has to be Cloud's psyche faking that he saved her when she did in fact die. Same like when Zack died in front of him, he then thought he was Zack. Hence something similar would happen with Aerith also. Makes sense why he wasn't sad and he just thinks she just went back there to continue praying. At first I thought it split into another timeline, but the Cloud's fractured psyche thing makes much more sense with the themes that the game is trying to tell. And I'm very curious about the Aerith and Cloud and Zack's timeline since we didn't get any closure from that. But overall, this was an incredible story with a lot of heart. There's so much content. This game just leaves so many questions and theories. I can't imagine what's in store with the third and final game. But I do want to know your thoughts on the game as a whole. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys, and while this 70-hour plus game is still in my head, let me know what other videos of this game you would like to see. If you would like to see my playthrough of Final Fantasy Rebirth, a good bit of them are on YouTube. I do mainly stream on Twitch, but I've been a little inconsistent, so a lot of the older VODs aren't on my Twitch, but I'm still able to highlight them. Let me know if you would like me to do so. Please follow me on YouTube. We're at 330 subscribers, and please do follow me on Twitch as well if you want to see me play any other games. Let's keep talking. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.